Welcome to the Amanda Effect, where I thrive to inspire, encourage, and uplift you through life's journey. I'm here to help educate you on self-improvement in life's different categories, including family, careers, relationships, mental health, and so much more. So let's get started because I'm excited for you to feel the Amanda Effect. Hello, and welcome to the Amanda Effect with my crazy co-host, Topher.
Hi, guys.
Hola. How are you?
I don't know Spanish, so
He knows what hola means, y'all. So I'm tired of him.
I don't know. Isn't this like Comayan something E2?
What? ¿Cómo estás? What's your name?
Yeah.
Or how are you? E2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Muy bien. E2. Yeah. See, you you had me confused. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's the only thing I never took Spanish, so that's the only thing I remember.
That's all we remember who took Spanish. I barely passed.
But I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm probably going to cut a fool today. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
This topic has just so y'all know, we had something completely different planned when this topic came about and it became popular on social media. I just felt like it was my duty to talk about it on here because y'all want to talk about it. Y'all know y'all do. I want to hear all y'all's opinion. Yes, I'm talking about the foolery that is known as Derek Jaxn. If nobody knows who he is at this point, you could probably Google him or look up the definition of fool. His picture should be right there. Also found under hypocrite. So he is do we call him a relationship expert? Like, I need to know where he got this title from. He just decided to start doing relationship videos, advice in his car for women to follow as far as men goes. And he took his wife didn't take none of his advice that he was giving because he was often talking to women about, how their men, if they really weren't interested in them, how they would post them, how they'll show you if they want you. And, if he's cheating, that really just means his heart isn't there. Y'all can look up some of these videos. It's almost comical now going back and looking at it since it has been found out that he has been cheating on his wife on a few occasions and still, in fact, hitting up the girl that he was cheating with, even after the allegations had come to light, and he and his wife did a whole live video.
And he sent a gag order to the most recent mistress.
Great. She hadn't told everything unless he plans on talking to her. Like, don't say nothing else. What do you need a gag order?
There was another one, and so she works at she's a nurse at a hospital, and he served her like at work with the paperwork, and so she can't say anything.
What judge approved that? That's what I need to know.
I mean, technically at this point, he is a celebrity.
Is that what we're calling him? He loves that. His little narcissistic behind loves that. I'm gonna do everything I can not to cuss today, but every time I talk about this, one slip. So we're gonna do our best today, guys. So so my first thought. I want to know what you thought of the live with his wife. Wait, before you answer, nobody had seen his wife. He did not post his wife until these allegations had come to light. Nobody had really seen her. He did not post her. They didn't do anything together. Okay. Until everything came out and they decided to do a live to sell his book. I don't know why, but they thought that live was helping. But first of all, did you watch it? I probably should ask this before we actually started, but did you actually watch their live?
Well, I did not watch anything until you had texted me and said that you wanted to talk about this. And I was like, I just normally don't give these people, just like Kevin Samuels, I just don't pay them any attention. I don't know. I just personally believe that you don't take advice from idiots. And
good motto.
Especially for people who, in order to like, when you give advice, they have to put someone down in the situation and in their story in order to like lift anybody else up. So
Right.
I just don't you choose to listen to stuff like that. And so I did watch it, and it was just it was concerning and it was sad and it was very confusing. And but it's what is acceptable, I guess, in society.
Who accepted that live? I need to know one person who accepted that live that they did.
I bet you this: his business is not going to stop.
No, it's not. And he'll actually become more popular now that we're talking about it. But fact of the matter is, there's a lesson to be learned here. There's a lesson here, ladies. So he did do us a little bit of a favor. Okay, he taught us something. There you go. He did. Men too, actually. So for me, watching their live, I was so uncomfortable. Like there was just so many body language, huh?
Uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable. There was so many body language red flags that just bothered me. Like I know the Facebook has taken the memes and screenshot and stuff, but honestly, no. I was so uncomfortable watching how he was holding her hand, how he was looking at her and making sure it almost looked like he was calculating. Okay, yep, you touched that point, you touched that point. And I don't know, she didn't look like she wanted to be
it
there.
was rehearsed.
But clearly.
I mean,
But he literally had his death grip on her hand. Like, I don't know. It was uncomfortable. Like, I literally sat there like.
But even her video that she did by herself in her, camouflage outfit and her.
We're not gonna do this today, Topher.
It just was like, she's a soldier, I guess. And I felt bad because I'm just like, you're over here basically getting ready to start speaking in tongues, and your man's been sharing his tongue. So I just need you to figure out.
Oh no. I do think she's serious, and I think that's the scary and sad part to me.
That's why I said soldier. Yeah. She is a brainwashed soldier. She has been to Iraq, Vietnam.
Stop. Listen, she is. And I feel so bad for her. And the scary part is, I don't know. There's something weird going on, honestly. It's very cult-like. I'm not saying it's a cult, but it's her mentality and the way she's acting is cult-like. So we didn't see any of this stuff on her Instagram until all this stuff happened. She didn't start posting and saying much stuff about this until all this happened. She started talking about her insecurities, how it's hard for her to deal with him being so popular, and how that made it worse for her. And that only made me dislike him more. Like, oh my gosh, like she really dealt with this stuff, and you were absolutely confirming every fear that she had. But also you can tell that she's mentally distraught, that she's not okay. She's trying to cling on to the Lord, which is exactly what she should do. But I think it's almost gone too far where she has lost her path, because now I'm not even sure that she's a human being, but she's actually more like a robot, like a soldier. And I'm concerned. It's scary. It really is, because it's not a joke. I don't like the memes and people talking about, y'all would cheat too if you came home to your wife, if you had to come home to a temptation all night. Y'all got to quit that. Y'all gonna stop that, because Beyonce got cheated on too, and if she ain't top tier, I don't know what to tell y'all. So that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He knew who he married.
But you have some people in this world, and I'm just speaking from a male's perspective here, is that some men will date or marry a woman.
Yep.
Who isn't, like, they might not even really be physically attracted to them. And they'll do that in order to basically, because they know who they are. Like, the man knows who he is. He's secure in that. But he will find someone who he doesn't really feel as attractive or insecure, that sort of thing. And it's a controlling thing. And you can tell that she has been manipulated and controlled.
In the name of love.
Like, and to me, I've just never been someone who can accept people who are just so desperate to have somebody. I just don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll play in traffic first.
That listen, okay, now the memes talking about how people will walk through glass before they sit on live while their husband tells the whole world how they cheated. Y'all, that was just they should have just kept quiet. Honestly, I think it would have been better because
That a lot of times, and a lot of people, unfortunately, are like so surprised by this. But truthfully, this is what happens every single day to somebody. And
very true. More often than not.
yeah, just because she got online and well, like they got online and basically gave us this rehearsed skit, but it's what happens in a lot of homes. Like people cheat, people stay, and people basically just behave and react the way that they are doing.
I'm not knocking homegirl for staying. I'm really not.
I am.
I'm not knocking her for staying. If she honestly feel like, that she wants to be there and whatever, that's on her. I just really don't like the public humiliation that had to come along with it. That's the part that I don't like. That's not to mention he would have had to stop with these videos after I had found out, like, sir, you're not finna go keep telling folk what to do when you don't even know what you're doing yourself. I feel like she should have put her foot down a little more, but we don't know.
Like she said that how insecure she is. So you can't put your foot down.
True.
Or stand up for yourself when there is no foot or no backbone.
True. And he knew that. That's why he still messaged old girl after the whole live. He knows she ain't going nowhere because she feels like it's her duty to stay as the soldier in the army of God that she is. Okay. So baby can't win. I think that's terrible.
If I was him, I would be gone.
No more Amanda sex with Topher. It would just be back to Amanda. I'll probably help her too, so it's fine.
But that's a difference when you are with somebody who is secure and who has a backbone. And not saying that like everybody has like their stuff, but when you get married, that's not what you sign up for. Like,
no, but you know what? There are some people who assume and accept that cheating is a part of the rough part of marriage. And it really shouldn't be. Unfortunately, that is a big, huge chunk. And they're just like, well, I assumed it would happen. I assume it's going to happen once. Just talking to people. And I'm just like, yo, I never saw it actually happening to me. And you deal with it when it comes, if it comes. But I think it's sad that people expect that it's going to happen once.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't sign up for, never mind.
Who signs up for that? But I'm just saying.
I don't think that, I just don't think that, well, number one, I still don't think that like marriage is respected on how it should be respected. Agreed. And I feel like a lot of people anymore just get married to get married, or they get married just for the actual wedding day, and outside of that, they could just care less.
Or they think it's the next thing to do. Like, all right, well, we had kids, so might as well get married, sort of thing. Like it's the next thing to check off your list.
Or like you're more embarrassed if something happens and you have every right to leave, you're more embarrassed about actually leaving than your own well-being. And that just doesn't make sense to me.
My sister, she is a marriage advocate. You guys should follow her on Instagram. Her name is Mrs. Mommy Esquire, which I plan on having her on here to just talk about some amazing stuff that she has been doing, things that she has learned. All of her stuff is faith-based, but me and her talk regularly, so she helps keep me in check as far as I am as a wife and as a woman of God, mostly to remember that this is a union that God created, not something that me and my husband created. So she said to me yesterday, because I was just like, we was talking about women and how our energy is, it can affect the whole household, and how women have that, in multiple areas. We've talked about on here how moms have the ability to speak directly to their son's heart and their soul. It's just something about mom's words and how they react to things. So I was like, man, that's a lot of pressure. She's like, it is. She was like, but that's why they say marriage is for grown folks. Y'all got married at 22. I was not grown. I was not grown. So you live, you learn, you grow, because
I
it
could
ain't
not imagine being married at 22. Ooh, Jesus.
I'll do it. I remember when I was like 25.
I mean, you don't have. I can't go back, and I ain't.
Listen, I remember being like 25, and I had both my kids at this point. I was married for a few years. And so when people found out I was married with kids, they would be like, you look too young to be married with children. I was like, I am. I am. You are right. But like you said, can't go back, can't redo, did we did, but we're just trying to be better people, and just learn from it every day, grow together, remember why we're together, and lean on God when some days we can't remember. So it's just that simple. But I definitely want to get to the point of we talked about her mental health a little bit. And honestly, I'm not really she I don't know. I'd love for one of her family members to come forward and talk, if she has any left, to be like, y'all know she's always been like this. She's okay. We talk to her or something. Because in my head, she don't see her family. She don't talk to her family. She's isolated. She got the friends that Derek chose for her, that are probably the wives of his friends. So in my head, like, this is not true. I'm telling y'all what I'm thinking. And I know y'all thinking some stuff too. So don't judge me. But if narcissistic was a picture, it would be Derek Jaxn. He would be a perfect picture of it, because he believes the stuff that he says. He believes that people should still hear what he has to say.
I don't think that he believes it. I don't.
No. This is how I know he believes it. Stop. Because what I should have sent you was his reaction to his video, to their live. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. If y'all have not seen the he does reaction videos to other people's videos, right? He did a reaction video to his own live, and he talked in third person the whole time. And it wasn't the fact that he talked in third person that absolutely bothered me completely. It was how quickly he switched in the third person, like it was not an issue. He's like, I'm gonna talk in third person, boom, and just started talking in third. So it seems like this guy cheated on his wife at one point in time, and he's like talking, and then he has the nerve to commend himself for coming forward. He didn't make excuses.
That's the killer part. That's why I would say that he doesn't believe it. This is like,
yes, he does.
No,
we're gonna agree to disagree. That man believes everything he said.
This is stupid, but like, do you remember? I don't know if you ever watched this, but I think it was like Laguna Beach or whatever. Like, do you remember how Heidi? Okay, do you remember like Heidi and Spencer's relationship?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, Spencer literally just would talk to her like all kinds of crazy and like whatnot, and like it was just like up down up down up down, and then but like a few years afterwards, like he was just like no, like it was just she was easily able, like I could easily manipulate her.
I remember him saying that.
And so like it just basically egged him on.
And also he said production had a lot to do with that as well.
So like in this situation with Derek, I honestly think that like it eggs it. It's like he's just basically, I don't know, like it's just like he's playing a slot machine, and like, but it keeps on reeling people in. Like that's why I just feel like it's a game.
How can you say he don't actually believe it when this man literally promoted his book on the backbone of his wife's pain?
Because people are stupid enough to buy it.
He ain't that smart. I'm not giving him that credit. That man believe in his own crap. And that is my problem. The fact that he actually sat there and defended himself on how stand-up of a guy he is for not making an excuse about why he did the dirty cheating and went into explicit details about how it wasn't just inappropriate messages, how it actually was sexual intercourse. But the fact that he really sat there and told us this is why women shouldn't put people on pedestals. Sir, You did not just blame women for you getting caught cheating and doing what you did and basically being an entire hypocrite of every video that you've ever created.
Well, why wouldn't he blame them? Because that's the majority of his business. It's all women. And so, and they keep on coming back, just like people, like women, they have so much to say about Kevin Samuels, but they keep him in business. And all he does is basically talk down to women and tell them what they should do, what they shouldn't do, this, that, and the third. But they
and that
are.
does bring me to the point of, hey, ladies, we really got to stop giving our advice from men, Steve Harvey included. That's listen, that came from Topher. That's what y'all know. But seriously, now listen, I had somebody say, you know, it's good to get a male perspective. Sometimes we can give them insight. Correct. Insight and perspective is not advice. They can say, this is what, men think like this. They should not come out of their mouth. Women need to da-da-da-da-da-da. We don't need to do anything. What we need to do is stop listening to y'all. Nobody needs to tell us how to be a woman. A man doesn't need to tell us how we're worthy, what makes us look worthy and everything else. No more than I want to sit here, ladies, and tell a man what masculinity is. We don't get to define that. We cannot define what masculinity is. Let men have that. We can agree and disagree all we want to, but at the end of the day, just like we said a couple weeks ago, that's absolutely not our opinions to give. I'm not a man. I can't tell you what masculinity is or I can tell you what it feels like because I think we all have masculine and feminine traits. But to be a man, we don't get to decide that. We can say what we would like in a man. That doesn't mean we gonna get it because men gonna be men regardless. So I just think this is a lesson. Thank you, Derek Jaxn and your poor wife. Because y'all have at least, maybe they'll get it now. Maybe we can have this conversation enough to actually say, stop taking advice from people who are not in your circle. Having women worth advice and coming from men is actually counterproductive. Because what you should be taught, and which is what they say, is that you have to feel worth and love within yourself first before you can receive it from any outside source. Yet we are literally sitting here looking for a man to confirm that. We gotta stop. And I say we because I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I haven't been guilty of it either.
That is, now, just like I told you the other day, I don't think that it is necessary to say that, no, like, not to like take advice or anything like that. But I would say that when it comes to whether you're friends or you're in a relationship, entanglement, whatever, I think that you have to be careful about who you take the advice from. And in this situation, I mean, he's just a whole hoe. Like, that's just what it is. And in my personal opinion, from what I've seen, read over the years, some of the most holy people are the biggest hoes. So I don't care. And that is Reverend do wrong, Deacon do wrong. I don't care. Just
not Deacon do wrong though.
That's just how I personally feel. But I feel bad that we are still in a society that tells women that they need to get this advice, or I don't know, this like almost like security from the male side, and it's not necessary. It's just not like. But I also think that sometimes it is beneficial if you know it's coming from a good place. And in this situation specifically, it's not coming from a good place. And I don't think that you can take advice from people who constantly have to put people down or piggyback off of somebody's pain in order to scale up. And that's just where it's gross.
I'll agree. I'll agree. But I need, like you said, be careful with it, because something that I'll say some women, I think most people do this though, honestly. When you get advice from any opposite sex, you will compare. Your brain will automatically compare. So this is why I say don't do it. If you can absolutely help it, which I don't know how you couldn't, just don't. Because you're going to compare whether you mean to or not. You're not going to mean to compare. I don't need to compare. There's give me advice. Nah, because you're going to see what they're doing and what they say, and you're going to start admiring that, and you're going to not appreciate that in your spouse, and it's going to cause a rift and a tear in your heart that doesn't need to be there, and it's going to continuously grow, and it's going to pull y'all further and further apart. Now, I'm speaking from experience, ladies. I'm not telling you this because I don't know. I'm telling you I have done that. So just don't. It could be all well intentions as what you want. It's always going to end up to be a little bit more. So I just say stay away from it altogether. Better safe than sorry, as if you ask me, because it's not going to hurt you not to get it, but it could hurt you to get the advice. So y'all can just call me. No, just kidding. Or call my sister.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just where, everybody who smiles in your face isn't friendly. And it's just something there's some people who have your best interests, as a priority, and there's just some people who don't. And people he's looking out for his pockets.
Correct.
And that's how you have to look at it. I mean, when I watched the video, I honestly felt like I was watching like Ike and Tina.
You see, man, y'all killed me with that meme. Did you see? Did you see the meme? Did they put them beside Ike and Tina?
No, I didn't see that one. I just saw the one. I've just been seeing like the one of them using Kerry Washington of her.
I'm gonna see if I can find this picture real quick because I sent it to my sister. Like the internet has gone too far.
Yeah, I feel like Kerry Washington has Kim Kardashian's ugly cry face beat.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's like, I mean, crying isn't pretty in general, but
should have a cry off.
Like it's just not. It's not her at her best moment.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but
they have on the same color and everything. I need y'all, if you're listening to this via podcast, I need you to go to the YouTube channel just to specifically see that. It's going to be around 26 minutes and 43 seconds that I put that up there. I need you guys to go look at what I'm talking about if you have not seen it, because I was like, y'all, they got to stop. First of all, y'all got too much time in your hands to be going through it, screenshotting and putting this stuff together. But I was it's just, it's uncomfortable. And then my biggest,
what's really gross about that picture though is that just because I know What's Love Got to Do with the movie, I know it word for word, and it's like one of my favorite movies. But anyhow, that scene that they took that picture from is right after she had her mental breakdown and tried to kill herself, and she had just come home from the hospital. And yeah,
I didn't put that together.
Yeah. Because he says, like, on their way to, like, the hospital, he was like, "You can't die on me. I need you. Yada, yada." And he's like, "And if you do try to die on me," he was like, "I'll kill you." Well, if she's gonna die, she's gonna die.
Lord, the mental health struggle is real, y'all. Good Lord, I can't.
And that's right before she starts singing "Nam Yo Ho Renge Kyo."
Oh my gosh. Take it home for us one time.
Bing. You gotta go see Jackie, her and Jackie, they work it out.
Oh, they worked it out. Oh, y'all. Okay, now we're laughing, but honestly, it's not funny. Like it's really not. It's really honestly not. My biggest concern was when I watched his my problem, because I got my little ego in check because I was watching his reaction to their live. And if you're not careful when you're listening to this, you will forget that this nut is actually talking about himself. This is how good he was at the third person. And I was like, nah, something wrong with Buddy. Like, there's no way. There is absolutely no way you should be that comfortable talking about yourself in third person, to give yourself credit. Then he talked about how, like, she looked uncomfortable in the video. And then I seen her own live and I was like, oh, that's just her personality. Boy, you know her. You have everything to gain from this video. You know what her personality is and what it isn't. You probably encouraged her to do the other live and be mundane, so you had something to say to the reaction video. And then you went ahead and blamed your women supporters because they worshipped you too much. Because it bothered you, I'm sure.
But that's what's crazy, because for somebody who has a faith-based thing, and
you don't even talk about it like that, though. He didn't start talking about God until all this started happening. I need y'all to know that. I didn't think he wasn't a God-fearing man, but he absolutely was not on there hardcore about God, being a follower until after. So he gonna not do that to his wife's Jesus. Like, y'all not gonna do that.
But I think it's just crazy because, like, you're not supposed to like idolize anybody, and he is telling the world to basically, like, you know, like his women supporters have idolized him and put him up on, you know, this pedestal,
right?
And like, it's real concerning.
It is. I don't think we've heard the last of this. I think he'll get his little spotlight right now because we continue to talk about it. This is just how the world works. Yeah, I think he'll die down because nobody's going to pay attention to the videos he's posting after a while. If he posts more, they'll watch him now just to see what foolery he is, so they can go troll him. And trolls don't make any sense to me, honestly, because you guys want people to stop doing something, yet you keep bringing to light what they're doing. It's counterproductive, but if you're doing it for fun, have fun. But I'm not here to judge you. Just have fun. It's okay. If you have time, go right ahead. Whatever makes you happy, folks. But I said the same thing about the whole Cardi B Grammy performance thing, because people were literally sharing the performance. How this is a disgrace. This is what our children are watching, and blah blah blah. Which we'll get on that in a couple minutes. But I was like, y'all do realize y'all only making it more popular and for more people to see it. Just saying. If you're friends with your children on social media because you apparently let them watch inappropriate things and have social medias when it's inappropriate, you realize they're just more likely to see it now too. Okay, cool. Thanks. Stop talking about it.
You know, I have a good friend who is basically in their last, you know, section of their doctorate program, but they already are able to be a therapist to their patients. And they have been doing this now for quite some time. And their take on it was they've never had a child come in their office and tell them that a celebrity made them do something because of what they've seen. Now, what they have said is that someone in their immediate family, such as their parents, their siblings, aunt, uncles, grandma, grandpa, or even someone like within like their church or within their schools, have made them do something because of what that environment was. So at the end of the day, these celebrities are not our kids' role models.
Thank you.
Just leave it alone. Like, I mean, if you don't want your kids watching something, don't let them watch it. And if they go to their friend's house and their friend's parents they allow something different, then okay. But then you address.
Okay, you should know that before you send your child over there. But that's
exactly. But you should address that again with your child on how that's not what you do, and that's it. And you know, Cardi's only responsibility is to be a role model to her daughter, and she's also a married woman, and so that's just what it is. And I think that people also forget about how they got here. So nobody is asking you or questioning the flips, tricks, and backflips that you might do in your bedroom or what your grandparents did for your parents to get here and that sort of thing. So like nobody is questioning that. So stop questioning what she's doing. And also, I think that you should just be impressed by the fact that like she's never lied about her story before. Like she was in college. She was a stripper, and she was a stripper, not a prostitute. So she's not out here just doing whatever she wanted to do and basically making money from sex. So that's that piece. Also, she is very comfortable and secure with herself as a woman and with her body. So if we want to talk about women empowerment, you can't be a feminist or about women empowerment when you're tearing down another woman. Whew. So I just don't
Right.
understand. What's the point? This is
Listen,
crazy to me.
and along with that, I need the privileged folk who didn't have to struggle, who didn't have to scrimp and scrape, whose parents had jobs and they didn't have to worry about helping their parents with income to understand there are still children, many, many children to this day who don't even have college in sight because they have to help their parents work and pay bills to take care of their younger siblings. And the fact that Cardi was in college on top of her situation, she explained the situation with her mom, and her mom kicked her out when she found out she was stripping and everything like that, how they were struggling. And so there are kids right now who are doing that. And whether you like it or not, Cardi is a success story for them. She gives them hope. So you want to talk about people being role models and everything. All y'all see is one side of it. You guys are not seeing the whole picture as far as how she absolutely is still helping inner city kids who are very much in the same situation that she was in, if not worse. So y'all got to stop with your closed-minded mentality and open up the full picture. And also, along with that, which I'm glad you brought it up, talking about people forget how their parents got here. This is where the inner work comes in, folks. This is where I say you need to do that self-reflection, because I honestly believe that I'm going to say this nicely. I really honestly think it's a reflection on how you view sex, your toxic relationship with sex and anything sexy in your body. If you have that big of an issue with what Cardi is doing, let me just be clear. I didn't see it. I didn't know what happened until I got on social media. That's how I saw it. So thank y'all for that. So again, y'all really made that roundabout. And it wasn't the people who said, oh my God, this performance is amazing, you got to watch it. I promise you, all the times I seen it, it was people talking about how disgusting it was. And that's how I watched it. But with that being said, I watched it and I was like, honestly, y'all, if you clearly don't follow Cardi, that wasn't even the worst thing she's ever done. It wasn't even that bad. The outfits was more covered than she usually is. So, and I honestly thought the choreography was creative, how they flipped and switched on top of everything. Now, am I surprised that the Grammys let them do that? Absolutely. But sales and marketing, folk, they knew that the Grammys was going to have low numbers. The Grammys numbers have been declining year after year, and this year was no exception, especially with them not being able to do it how they usually do. If y'all don't think that has something to do with how they let Cardi do that, oh, y'all fooling yourselves. They did a good job. Whoever did that, good job, because baby, they still talking about it. They are still talking about it. So let me explain to y'all how your little tiny bitty opinion absolutely means nothing. Not only did y'all get Cardi more money, y'all have also granted the Grammys more money by talking about something that you absolutely did not like. Go check yourself. Go find your sexy ladies if you have a problem with it, because what Cardi did was creative. It was much. The song is much. I don't like the song. I'm not a Cardi defender because I don't even like that song. But I don't listen to it. My 11-year-old daughter don't listen to it. I'm telling y'all, it's really that simple. We have choices to make. I cannot choose what Cardi does or doesn't put out there, but I can choose what my child comes across for the majority of the part. And if she hears it, I would have had enough conversations with my daughter and son to know that that is not appropriate. Talk to your kids, figure out your own sexuality within yourself, because y'all have such an unhealthy relationship with sex that is absolutely ridiculous, which maybe we should talk about that on here, but I ain't an expert, so I'm gonna have to find somebody else. That sounded bad. And make sure that you guys understand that you have choices to make and stop falling for these publicity stunts.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, I mean, those are the facts. It's just, I mean, I feel like a lot of people who get upset about anything, it's just because they are not secure or comfortable within themselves about it, especially when it pertains to that. And like, it's also crazy. I mean, like, you'll go to, like, I saw people complain about it online, but I also know that when you were 21, you went to Vegas, you went to Thunder Down Under, so it was okay then. Then I know that your significant others or your husbands used to be frequent visitors of Christie's and the Diamond. And so I don't understand.
And it wasn't for the wings.
They do say that the diamond has a good steak, but I
heard they had good wings, so I had them once. They was wings. There wasn't nothing special about them wings besides there was boobies and butts shaking in their face while they was eating them. What else special about these daggone wings? Don't get me wrong. They wasn't nasty wings, but I don't know. They was wings. Like,
well, there you have it, folks. So I don't know. I just think that we need to slow down on being just so quick to judge in situations that really do not apply to us.
ooh,
Like,
say it again. That do not apply. They don't
it just don't,
apply to you. And be quick on self-reflection. Slow down
like,
on the judgment of others and quick on self-reflection.
I mean, and just to like throw it out there, I mean, could that seem a little hypocritical? Just obviously because we came on here to trash talk, Derek, but so yeah, but at the end of the day, like I'm only basically comment on the fact that like if you a hoe, you a hoe, and just own the fact that you are a hoe, and own the fact that your wife is sitting in a really uncomfortable situation. At least that's how it appears to be.
Mhm.
And like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if you feel like you have the right to speak on the fact that, Cardi and Megan were over there dipping and doing it and busting it open, okay, do that. But I'm not speaking to the fact of how this is going to affect someone's child. And that's where a lot of that was directed towards when it came to Cardi and Megan, and basically saying like, like they're not the right role model and this, that, and the other. But that's not the case. Just like, any parent or anyone who would complain about kids or unmarried people seeing, you know, Derek and his wife get on there and do that. At the end of the day, if you want your kid to know what it's like to have a healthy marriage, have one. If you want your kids to know what it's like to be comfortable, what to do, what not to do, and who to actually watch, provide them with that.
There you go. I also don't think we came on here to bash Derek. I think we came on here to make a point, but that's fine.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, it can be looked at a little hypocritical. And
that's true. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. And if that's what it is, that's what it is. I'm gonna just accept that portion of it. But I often, it was funny because I heard that if you're gonna be a hoe, be a good hoe. That came from one of my most respected mentors that I ever had. He was a man of God. He is a doctor. He is successful. He was one of my instructors at the Ohio Media School. And when that man said that, I almost turned my head to a full 360. And I was like, nobody else heard that man say, if you want to be a hoe, be a good hoe. He was explaining, don't have to do anything. Like, because there was a lot of problems with people not showing up or turning in incomplete work and stuff like that. So he was talking to the collective, like, you'll be a hoe, be a good hoe. Don't come here wasting people's time, basically. So he meant, but I was like, bro, what?
Yeah.
But it totally made sense. And I feel like we've said that a few times on here. I'm not judging on what you decide to do. If you are what everything, the definition of a hoe, be that. Be a good one, be a great one, make your money. I'm not knocking nobody with OnlyFans, and I'm tired of people putting y'all down too. Make your money. Yes, make the money. Don't let it make you. Okay, but what was I saying? You told us.
But do you even know where that's from?
The song.
No, it's not even from the song. It's from the movie.
Oh. Well, I know it's from a movie. I don't remember which one, but it's in a song. That's what I was saying.
Continue.
I don't know why Topher being all quiet today. He trying to hold himself to higher standards or whatever. But it's fine.
I don't want to. Well, number one, my text message about Derek was basically really all the time and energy I really wanted to give him. Like, I just feel like he's garbage, and I am concerned about his wife. And I also
100%
have to be careful about how I just feel like when it comes to like Cardi and Megan, I feel like no matter what like women of color do, they always are degraded and said that they are not able to be these sexy women. And the moment that somebody else does it, it's okay. Like, twerking didn't become a thing or become normalized until Miley Cyrus with her non-ass having self started doing it. Like, Miley doesn't have butt. Like, it just didn't make any sense. So,
Are we calling what she did twerking?
no, I mean,
I
but
was
like,
like, I was just
it's just like, but that's when it became normal. You know what I mean? And so, like,
I was saying
any,
that too.
it anytime that, like, but once again, the world or society in general, they will vibe to our music, this, that, and the other, and like basically they'll love our culture until something happens, and then all of a sudden, then it's wrong. Like, they'll talk about the projects, about
Yep,
the drugs and this, that, and the other, what goes on there, and but meanwhile in the suburbs they're doing the same stuff.
they are.
You know, they'll talk about the music that the kids listen to. Meanwhile, in the suburbs, your kids is listening to the same music. Like, but as soon as like the big guy basically has a problem with it, or the moms have a problem with it, that's just when it's not okay. And the finger is always pointed at the people of color, and especially women of color. And it's like, and then once again, a lot of people, they get plastic surgery to look like who? Women of color.
Mm.
When it's the woman of color,
And you'll have people. Let me say this properly. You gotta be careful with our words, because they'll say, "I'm not trying to look black." The natural features that women of color come with, that's what you're doing. The big lips, the strong jaw lines, the big butts, thick thighs. Those were natural born. Now I don't have all of those, just so y'all know. But
like
those are things.
typically, like I mean, like no shade, but Sally ain't built like that.
She not. And I don't think Sally should feel bad about that either. I don't know why that society has glorified one body type compared to the other. Because honestly, when we were growing up, that wasn't a cute thing. We were to be slim, straight, no curvature. They didn't like it.
You're supposed to be built like this straw.
Exactly. Sorry. The visuals. Okay.
I mean, these people need to know. That's what it was like.
It really was. They didn't want none of that. They didn't care
like
about it.
anorexia and bulimia was like all these eating disorders were like things when like we were growing up, because that's not like, because like the world said one thing. Now all of a sudden, like, it's cool if you eat a medium pizza by yourself and you rocking a dad bod, or you basically, like you got, thick thighs or something. And it's like, I understand that things change over time, but it's different when you go to see a doctor, you are put under to get surgically enhanced to look like something, when somebody who's a few shades darker than you belittle them and demean them and tear them apart for it.
Because
Just
how
to make sense
terrible.
to me.
Exactly. Because they're a horrible example. I want to spend the next 12 minutes or so talking about the comparisons that people have. I want to say also that when growing up, I didn't hear people have half of these arguments with Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera by the very lack of clothes that they were wearing. But J-Lo got criticized, still does, about that dress that green flowy dress she wore at the MTV Music Awards. She showed up with Diddy, and because her boobs was almost out, y'all, they was, but she got criticized for it. But literally, I'm pretty sure like Britney Spears probably would just wear like the little bralette, and it was, that's what's fine. That's it. And we had low-waisted jeans. So showing your thong in over your jeans or your butt crack being out wasn't totally acceptable when it came to the white community. Absolutely. That was a thing. Nobody said anything about that. And if they did, it was nowhere near as big an uproar as they gave when J-Lo did her halftime performance, when Janet Jackson got her boob exposed at the halftime performance, and God forbid Beyonce showed up in what she normally wears at every performance she wears during the halftime performance. And now you have Cardi B and Megan. Just stop. Please just stop. This stuff is for entertainment and for entertainment only. If you are not entertained, sit back, y'all. I got a solution. Turn the fucking channel. Like, I can't turn the channel. I do not understand why y'all will sit and watch and listen to something that irritates you. I said this about people who listen to Trump who can't stand him. Why are you watching him? Turn it off. If he irritates you that bad, turn it off. I need to know. No, you don't. You know he's stupid. He ain't finna say nothing of substance. Turn it off.
Well, sometimes you do have to hear the other side, but that's different when it comes to politics.
Lord, no, let me tell you, I didn't watch another debate. I couldn't do it. My piece ain't worth it because I promise you, I got everything I need to know on social media because all y'all fools was on there play by playing it. Like, fly Sean. Okay, I'm done with all of y'all because I can't do it. Y'all not finna keep disrupting my peace at the name of politics. It ain't worth it because I'm not hearing nothing they say. If all they spewing is buffoonery, I will go read it if I need to. But I'm telling you, that is not, I promise y'all it ain't necessary. I don't even like the news no more. I don't. Because they twist it. I can't. Anyways, I'll be here all day with that. But talking about the Megan and Cardi B thing. If one more y'all compare them to Pepe Le Pew, I'm gonna puke. One, Pepe.
Oh, okay.
If one, ain't nobody watching Looney Tunes, y'all. I'm not even sure they still play Looney Tunes on regular TV.
They do.
Okay.
I don't
Who
know.
watching it? My children ain't. What child today is watching Looney Tunes? Please let me know. Let me know, please. Because one, mine aren't. Two, I didn't really watch Pepe when I was little. However, that was the problem for back then when it was popular. If y'all had an issue with it, y'all should have canceled him then. And also, who gives a crap if you cancel him now if ain't nobody watching it? Why are we mad either way? Who cares? Don't nobody care. They all mad they took him out of Space Jam. I remember Pepe having one scene in Space Jam. I'm gonna need y'all to stop. Y'all just find anything to argue about. But two, that cartoon was also made for children. So if y'all want to continue to compare them to Megan and Cardi, only one of them was made for children. End of argument. That is not a proper comparison. I don't care what you say. Don't hit me with, well, you have to admit that it's a problem. Nobody said it wouldn't. Nobody said that things were not different than we were younger. It's a problem that the way the society is run, the way that the economy is right now, but y'all darn sure don't give a crap about that. It's a problem that all these kids that are in foster care getting abused, getting away with murder and everything else going on. But I don't hear y'all uproaring about that. No, y'all want to argue about a cartoon and an entertainment performance that did its job. Please move on and talk about something and actually advocate for something that really is going to matter to your children in society. Thank you for coming to my second TED Talk. I really just came on here to get out everything I was bottled up in me about all these common social media topics. I was annoyed that it kept coming up. I was annoyed at the amount of people that really were just ignorant to the fact that these are not necessary things. So we're going to put it to rest after today, Topher, I promise. We ain't going to talk about him no more. We ain't going to think about it. We ain't talking about Meg. If we talking about Megan and Cardi, we talking about their accomplishments, not how everybody hates them. We're not going to do that.
Fair. That is fair.
Closing thoughts. You're so quiet today.
No, I mean, like, that's why I said, I mean, like, I don't think that, I just don't like to be in a situation where someone be like, oh, well, like, you're being like a hypocrite. Obviously, that's like, like we all have our opinions about things, but I think that like you can't compare apples to oranges. You have to compare apples to apples. And that's just where I have a problem with it. And I don't, when it pertains to everything else, like I'm so sick and tired of like everyone like saying about, oh, what about our children? When it's really looked at, it's not about all of our children. It's only about certain children. I don't like when people use religion as their crutch and basically blame everything on the devil and this, that, and the other. Like, Jesus is going to get me through this. All I got to do is pray. Well, that can be true, but you also might need to seek therapy or potentially leave your situation. And just like those sorts of things. So like that kind of stuff just like really bothers me. Mm-hmm. And like I'll rip somebody to shreds like about it. So I just choose to like just speak carefully.
He is being very careful. If y'all are watching the actual YouTube, y'all can see him pause and collect himself before he actually speaks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ask you a yes or no question. Well, oh yeah, I ask you a yes or no question, so we can keep you as careful as possible. I will respect your stance. I decided to have a podcast so I can talk about the things I want to talk about. So I want to talk about them. But do you think that comparing, because I've seen this comparison, it's the last I'm gonna do, y'all, I promise. Today. I've seen I've seen the comparison of Jada and Derek Jaxn. Is that a fair comparison?
Hell no.
Thank you. But I can't say that because I'm a woman. I was like, no, and don't get me wrong. I think Jada, the way she moved in that whole thing was it wasn't good. I didn't like her energy about it at all. I can understand and respect what she said, but I really did not like her energy, and I don't have to, as I have plenty of people who disagree with me, which is okay. I just don't. I think that she was unapologetically selfish, which I know that in a sense that could be like a good thing, but at the same time she caused hurt and pain to people, and I just feel like people should feel bad about that for the most part, and I don't like when people don't. So that's just me authentically. But Jada and Will are also in a completely different situation than Derek and his soldier of a wife, and I just think that was just trash. And Jada and Will both said that they were separated at the time. Not to mean that they should have still been upholding their vows. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that was still right. But they both said we were not together. We had all intentions on getting a divorce. We just had not actually, really pulled the plug yet. So no, they're not the same. Y'all give Jada a pass. Don't nobody give Jada a pass. Jada gave Jada a pass because she was like, forget y'all. I'm done thinking about this. I needed to use that young man for my needs at that time because I was mentally struggling, and I did it. I got
used her too, and that's the problem.
What?
They used each other.
They did. They did. You are absolutely right. They did.
Yeah. I had never heard of anybody being in an entanglement, until that happened.
I'm glad Will called her out on that entanglement. Cause honey, he was like, Jada. It was a relationship. So, but the fact that she was so hesitant. Also, I didn't like that she called it an entanglement either, because it seemed the fact that she didn't actually have real feelings to him, which makes me feel like she either let him on, that she did use him. He used her to numb the pain that whatever he was feeling. He used her as a distraction from his pain. And she literally used him because she needed somebody to desire and love her as she figured herself out. And I can't go into detail, but I just promise y'all, I don't like how she presented herself on that Red Table Talk as just being so matter of fact about it. I hope her and Will are doing great. They all learned from it, and it is what it is. But they also should have known better than to do that, because they came back because they was like, oh, Will was hurt. And apparently this was at like 3:00 in the morning. They recorded this. Ain't nobody had been to sleep. They did like a whole interview talking about something. We told y'all we should not told you we should record that right there. It was just awkward. But nonetheless, maybe sometimes not saying anything is your best option. But when you're in the limelight, you feel like a responsibility to address what's being said about you, because silence is often deemed as guilt. However, in the court of law, they highly suggest you don't say anything. So just say it. But I don't think that's a fair comparison either, because the situations were completely different. Nor even, and here's my thing, even if it was the same, let's say Jada did cheat on Will in the marriage fully, because she did. They were technically married. So I don't like saying she didn't. But Jada wasn't around giving men advice on cheating women. So still not necessarily the same.
And she's not out here giving marital advice in general. So
no, she's giving her story on her marriage and what they learned in theirs. And they've said multiple times, do what works for you. So I will give you that. Her show is not around relationship advice.
I mean, it kind of is about relationships, but it just like pieces and parts. I mean, like, I feel like
she's had relationship talks, but I think her show is more about the mental health struggle and the things that they went through, because they've had all kinds of, they had nutrition advice. They had somebody on there talking about adopting Black children. Now they absolutely have had relationship advice on there, but I think most of her guests are just in relationships, so it goes there. T.I. and Tiny were on there for relationship advice. Snoop was on there and just happened to give his advice on relationship. Who else was on there? That just somebody else. Oh, Alicia Keys. They ended up talking about her relationship, which never mind. We ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, just because
we're gonna move on about that. But they started talking about their relationship.
Feel a certain way about that one. And I can personally say I don't feel like what happened was wrong.
I'm gonna just hit the end button. I ain't listened to Alicia for years after that, and I loved Alicia Keys. I was very I was upset. I was upset.
All right, Drake.
But in my growth, they apparently have grown. Alicia, her husband, and the ex-wife, they all, are working it out. So it was done for me to be mad about somebody else's business. So I started enjoying her music again.
I mean,
no, we're not doing this today. We're not doing this today. We're not doing this today. Okay. We are not, because we don't know the whole story. We ain't in them people's lives. I wish them nothing but the best. They seem very happy from what they show us.
And there you go.
That's all that matters. Ain't got nothing to do with me at the end of the day. Go listen to Wasted Energy, because that song is fire. And it actually, it's very fitting for this episode. We about to just go ahead and not waste any more energy on other people's foolery and business. We're gonna be back to y'all next week with some topics that matter, some things that are gonna help you grow and inspire you and uplift you, like I promised.
Do you think I should send this to Derek's wife and him?
For those of my podcast listeners, I don't know why you have this. For all of my podcast listeners out there, Topher is offering to send a communion. If you ever seen like the plastic thing, has a cracker on the top and the juice in the bottom, a little communion cup to Derek and his wife. Do you have two?
Wait a minute.
Why do you? Did your church give them to you for Easter? Because you guys do virtual or something?
I mean, no, my other one is still in the car.
Okay.
I.
Oh, but it got in the car.
It was, first of all, it was.
You better drink that one. Don't you get that one, Haley? I mean, you better drink that one.
It was a little chilly yesterday, so it's fine or whatever. But no, like I volunteer on every other Sunday or whatever, and so I was not a great Christian yesterday, and I didn't take this. So I mean, I could send it to somebody who.
No, you won. It was intended for you, so don't do that too. I'm sure she got some. Oh, all right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for dealing with us today and all of the foolery. I needed to get some of that off my chest. I needed to just come on here and smack talk just for a minute. I've been real serious, real busy lately. I want to remind you guys that me and Topher do have businesses that we are running. Duke's Multimedia, for all of your production needs, podcast help, photography, videography. I'm expanding and growing every day. So please don't hesitate to hit me up. You can contact me via email, Amanda@DukesMultimedia.com, or on social medias, Amanda Effect on IG and Amanda Jean Dukes on Facebook. And Topher, I will go ahead and let you do your own, because I ain't gonna remember all that after I just said all mine.
Fair enough.
Plug yourself.
I can't stand you, I swear. Well, first, yes, it was great smack talking today. I appreciated it. I'm glad that I, chose to give careful responses. And
I want Topher to get real rude on here just one time.
Just one time for the one time. I'm just gonna say this is that community coochie and community dick are not appropriate in marriages. Okay.
Woo! Thank you. And honey, as a good friend once told me, you can't be taking everybody's coochie coupons. So I need y'all to leave those out.
But on another note,
okay.
I see this is why I can't be fooling with you. Anyhow, but yes, you can get a hold of me on as under Topher Lynch on Facebook or Instagram. And if you would like to check out any of my latest blog post or any of my apparel, it is Topher Artez Unlimited. And Topher is spelled Topher.
So for you do something else.
Well, I mean, they would see, I mean, fine, like
It's house buying season. What you mean? Plug yourself.
I know, but this market right now, it's stressing me out. I need to know who the crack dealer is for some of these appraisals. I just need to know. But
Wait,
anyhow,
is it
yes,
good or bad? Do I need to have them appraise my house? Wait, I need to.
it just really depends. I mean, like, it's absolutely insane. Like, I had a client who has called and texted me since we've been on here because they are so upset about the fact that they lost out on a house by like $30,000. And so like it's just a wild market to be in. That's all. But anyhow, but yeah, so I also do mortgages. So whether you are interested in purchasing, refinancing, even if it's an investment property, you can reach me under my personal social media, which is Topher Lynch, or I also have my business page, which is Christopher Lynch at Primary Residential. So yes.
And any questions you have, he's really good at explaining things in layman's terms.
Yeah.
For or toddler terms, whichever way you want to put it.
So yes. But yeah.
But that's amazing. I thank you for trash talking with me today. I thank you all for listening. I promise we'll be back to inspire, encourage, and uplift you. But as I always tell y'all, I had to come authentic. This stuff was on my heart. I needed to talk mess. I was too serious for the past couple weeks being busy. So go as well and be authentic to yourself and others and have a fabulous week. Tell somebody you love them. Be kind. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Are you looking to finally get your podcast started? Or maybe you're looking to perfect the podcast you already have? Well, look no further. Duke's Multimedia LLC is here to help you with all your podcasting needs. We're here to help you grow and learn and make your podcast sound even more professional than you can imagine. Contact Duke's Multimedia LLC via Facebook or Instagram. Duke's Multimedia. Learn, create, produce.